Hello everyone. My name is Chitra. I'm sure most of you know me because I've contacted with everybody before. Thank you very much for joining the session today. It's Saturday late evening. So thanks for taking the time to come and see what our students have done. And brief introduction. You all know about Sayur, so I'm not going to talk about Sayur much. We'll talk about Sayur's apprenticeship program, which also most of you know because when I sent the email in the agenda, also I had mentioned what we are doing. So the idea for this program is to for the students who are somewhat familiar with the programming, help the students improve their programming skills and have them ready for the job by working with a real project. Normally, students work on projects that they think of, school projects and things like that, which is good. But by working on the real one, they have hard deadlines. They understand the seriousness, and they also get mentorship from people from the industry. Normally, when they work on school projects, projects, they get the mentorship from their college professors, which is good. But in this case, they also get a lot of mentorship from the industry people. So their job readiness, the probability of them being really ready for the job is much better by going this way. So the way we started this is one of Sayur's well-wishers, Sree Venkatesh. She's working in the autonomous vehicle section in Argo AI. So she contacted me one time and said that she was part of this climate-based fellowship program. And she said there's a lot of people with a lot of ideas to work on the climate tech. And she said, why not take their idea and have your students implement a prototype for these ideas? So this way, students get to work on something that is more on a real life issue, real life idea, something that, it's a startup idea and something that might get a good shape and go further. And for the founders, for the people with the startup idea, they get to see something in action, and they also get a feel for how their idea is going to work. So it's going to be a win-win situation both for the startup founders and for our students. And she said, "Why don't you do that? And I'll connect you with the startup people." And that's how we started this program. And Shubha connected us with Ania. Hello, Ania. Ania is from the Zamlia, the company that we're going to talk about. Ania will talk about it briefly, about her idea. And we contacted Ania, and Ania agreed to help us, give her idea, and help the students. And from Ania's team, Micah Elm, and Micah also helped mentor the students on how to work on this project. So that's how we started. And 3 months later, we started it 3 months ago. 3 months later, here we are presenting what we've done so far. The project still has some more work to do, but we've come to a point where it's demoable, and that's what we are doing today. So, the agenda for today is Anya will give a brief introduction about what this idea is about, what is it that she's trying to do, and then the students will provide the demo of how much work they have done. They'll give a demo of how the product works. They'll talk about the technology behind it, because for most of you here, you also are interested in seeing what is it the student learned, what kind of technologies they've learned, and how did they put this whole thing together. That is also an important piece. We want to showcase the knowledge that our students gain. So they'll talk about the technology behind it, how they worked on it, and they'll also talk about what is it they learned in this 3 months process, because that is also a key point. Right? Technology is one thing. Today they are learning, we are using PERN stack here. And technology is one thing now, and tomorrow when they go to job, it may not be PERN, it's totally maybe cloud, it's all they're going to do. So what is it they learned that will help them learn new things on their own in the future? So that is also something they'll talk about. And of course, feel free to stop anytime and ask questions, and we'll get started. So yes, Anya, if you want to give a introduction.
Sure. Yeah, hi, Chitra. Hi, team. I'm really excited to be here. It's been quite a journey. Yeah, so briefly, my name is Ania. I was part of the climate-based fellowship. As a part of that, I was exploring an idea I had around starting a company for sustainability. I ended up onboarding a rather large team over the 2 cohorts of fellows to work on it. And then once that finished, we've been kind of in a transitionary period of how do we actually run this as a company. So that's kind of where we're at. It's a very early stage, about less than 6 months into building the idea in the company. But the general idea is to build something that helps normal people think about individual action for climate change in a little bit different way than the existing framework that's out there. So not focused on measuring your carbon footprint and kind of tracking small points of like every time you use your mug. That seems to be kind of the traditional approach right now. But thinking through that in a very much more broad, comprehensive, positive way through a couple of different tools. So having a comprehensive database of all sustainability solutions, all of the options of things you can do as a normal person across all aspects of your home and your lifestyle, and then have that be some sort of interactive tool experience, whether it's an app or a web tool, still kind of deciding on that, and having a consultancy service that can then a human being can come in and kind of help guide that decision making and through that process. So basically enabling more people to feel welcome to start to implement sustainability solutions into their life, and then globally, shifting our the population towards a slightly better lifestyle, reducing emissions, and impacting the climate crisis in a positive way. So really excited to see what the students have come up with, and really appreciate all the hard work and Chitra, the leadership and organizing all of this. So happy to answer more questions, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, thanks, Ania. So yeah, the way the students are going to show is based off of the prototype that Ania had provided. So they just took it to their own understanding, and that's what they did. So all right, guys, you can get started. I'm going to stop sharing, and the students will take over from now.
Hi everyone, my name is Gautam Raj. I am from Madurai. I am currently studying my undergraduation, third year, Computer Science and Business System from Sree Institute of Technology. So I am working in this project as a front-end developer. So I share my screen and share the prototype of the project. So this is our project. We done this for Zemilia. So this is the prototype. So before entering into the prototype, we just say what is Zemilia. So what purpose we create this project. Like this is the product to create. This is the product is to create because we the individual, we are in the home or in apartment or in office space or any other. So in that space, how we reduce or reuse or recycle the things like electricity or water or gardening things or some other things in our own house, which is helpful to reduce the global warming in the overall climate. So this is the overview of this project. So in this project, we start its our from the home page. So in this home page, there are three buttons. One is mode and place and our team. And before entering into this page, we have another one. Another one is light mode and dark mode. And then the mode which is in our desktop is default. So if I choose light mode means it is in light mode, and then we move to the project. So first we get started the project. So in this project we have selecting modes because we are going to explore our project. So we are going to the exploring mode, and then in this exploring mode we ask the question, you are in apartment or home. So this time the this place user have get confused why we give those things. So even we are ready to answer this. So why do we ask this? By asking these details, we give you the best user interface and then user experience, because some people are living in apartments and some of them are in home. So it is easily split means we are easily give your user experience and then user interface. So after I click home means it's come to our home. So here we also give our tips how it's work, actually how it's the home works. So these are some specific parts. In this specific parts, the image also interact with you, like even it's navigate or in display any other contents. So and then before going into this project, I already said that we have some advantages like reducing or reusing or recycling the things like electricity or water or our environment things. So these are all the things it's based on this. So I just over to Ragul Vasanth who work in front end page. So he explained further details.
Yes. Hello everyone. My name is Ragul. I'm I'm in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. I'm currently pursuing my graduate degree in citizenship technology. Okay, now let's see what we have done. And this is the main page what the users can interact with that dynamically. And we are hovering this and that. We are seeing the hovered images. What we have: the front door, garage, and sit outs and rows. Here we can touch the garage. Yes. There's a data somewhere coming from the database. It consists of how to reduce and recycle and reuse the things we can use in the garage. And it's a location-based content. We have the garage, the information coming from the garage is a individual thing what the we have do in this garage. Okay. Let me walk on to the front door. Let's move on to the hallway. It consists of 2 doors on the first floor. When we have to the kitchen, yeah, we have seen some of the couple of things in the kitchens are used. So let's we click on that stove. It's a base.
Rahul, you are on mute. Rahul, you went on mute. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. Based on this location, we have the stove, zinc, and cupboard. We have touch on that stove. We can see the how to reduce, reuse, and recycle the gas things and the surroundings to a green environment. In back, move on to the back. Now on to the first floor. Now you can see here the sit out and the water tank and the bedroom. Yeah. Yeah, we have seen the bedroom things are here. And when we click on to the lamp, it shows this is something like electric based component, and it shows how the electricity wants to be consumed and how the electricity should be efficiently used from the user's point of view. And let's click on to the TV. Is the no data because we have not entered anything from the database. Let's see how the data is to be inserted and how does data coming from it. I'm hand over to the session to the Sree Aranganathan, which is worked on the database. And we enter into the data, it will show up with the UI page. Thank you.
So hello everyone, this is Sree Aranganathan. I'm from Pandakudi in Tamil Nadu. I'm an undergraduate student. Currently, I'm pursuing with undergraduate in Sayur Institute of Technology. So I have been working as a backend developer in this project. Now I'm going to show you guys how the data are going to be inserted from the admin page. So let's have into the yeah. So this is our admin page. In this admin page, we are directly shown up with the add data component. So in this add data component, we are having 3 input fields like location, object, and object type. So in this component, we are going to add the data for TV component. So we have to enter where is the TV is located, like it is in the bedroom. So we are going to type as a bedroom. So as you can see, when I start typing it just give you a suggestion that bedroom. So because it is why because we have already inserted the data in the bedroom, that is a lamp. So the lamp is already in the bedroom, which is already inserted with already inserted data. So it will give some suggestion that is means in the bedroom there is an already a component is there. So if I click that, it will autofill, and then I'm going to enter an object. So it is a television. So I'm going to type it is a television. Sorry, TV. So and then object type. It refers to what is the type of object. It means the TV basically works. It's a electricity based component. So we are going to refer that. So electricity. And if I click on to the next, it will show 4 more additional fields. That is reuse, reduce, recycle, and link. this reuse method, if I want to add more than one reuse method, I can dynamically add multiple reuse methods, and similar to the reuse and reduce and recycle also. So like if I click that if I want to add multiple data, we can easily add to it. And if we want to delete that, we can easily delete that. So I'm going to enter some data that we have that we have taken from the internet sources. So let's wait. So, now reduce. Recycle, and the last one is link. So now all the data are being filled, and I'm going to insert the data. It will show that the data, it will indicate you that the data is inserted. Now what, if the data I inserted is it was wrong, how can I change that? So for that, we have a view data component right here. So in here, we can see that the inserted data will be shown right here. I'll show you. Yeah. So before that, we don't see that TV component data right here. So when I refresh the page, it will show that it has shown that the TV component data. So if I want to edit the data, like if I want to add one more reuse method, or one more reduce method, or link somewhat, I can easily change the data right here itself. So if I want to add another reuse method, I can easily click onto that and add the data. So if I want to add another one more reuse data, I can easily add it. And one more reduce method. So that's all. So if I'm updated, it will directly update the database, and I'll show you. So before I'm updating, there is only two reuse methods and one reduce method. After I'm updating it, it will fetch the data from the updated data from the database and show there is one more reuse method and reduce method. So now let's see where is the data is reflected on the UI page or not. So now I'm going to hand over the session to Aravindan to show you guys the data is inserted or not. So Aravindan.
Hello, welcome to everyone. Myself Aravindan. I am studying in Sree Institute of Technology, third year, Computer Science and Business System. I am currently dealing with the functionality side of the client code. I am glad to explain the code part of the development. Before that, we can check whether the functionality has been added to the TV component. Let me start my screen. Yes, as we can see, we have verified that the database can be retrieved whenever we can update from the client side code. Okay. We saw how the API link has been retrieved from the database, and it's been used in our client side code. Let's go deeper into our code. As we can see, we have used the PERN stack. What is PERN stack? It is a combination of Postgres, Express, Node, React, and Node.js. In this C, we can collect all the URL of the APIs into a single separate file called app.config.js. Because because the existence of this file, it's very helpful to change the code whenever and at any time and any number of times. Because if I keep it in many other pages, it's very difficult to retrieve and change it as often as I can. The main part of the code starts within the app.js component. Here where in this place where the actual fetching takes place. As you can see, the fetch component is called within this page, and the page continues to route to different various pages using the router component in React. As most of them know that React is a single page application. We can't route to different pages as we wish, so that they created a library or a component that helps us to use it as a multi-page application. After the app.js component, the main page is in the layout page. In this layout page, it plays a major role in displaying the UI part of the site. It contains a component called image mapper. You may ask, what's a image mapper? It's very simple that the most of the image and the coordinates that has been highlighted has been done by the image mapper. The image mapper collects a combination of inputs as a object. As you can see, I placed a JSON file with various number of inputs. In that, in number ID 1, there is a name called house, and the image source has been given to it with the coordinates of different. There are 4 IDs with 4 different coordinates. It contains the name and the coordinates. It has to be marked. With the help of it, we can identify each and every single location, and we can fetch it to the user. You may ask why it's very unique. The database in this were very long, and you may ask, but it really helps us in the long run. When you go into that layout.jxs file, it separates each and every part of the code using the map function and display it into the image mapper. Because of that, you every part of this code, you are seeing the sit out, the bedroom, or even this main house. Every part of the code is derived from the same layout component. After you may not expect about a complete database design at the start of the development, so that we have to evolve from the basics to that from basic server to a full-fledged API link. That's where we use various different types of API methods so that we can develop our code from scratch. At start of the code, we may not have a clear-cut idea of how our database may be mapped or how it can be fetched or anything. So that we use the React component called React JSON server. It helps us to run the server in our local machine. After developing for about a week, we have to upgrade to us because we have our teammates that everyone wants to fetch data, and they want to contribute in their specific parts. So that we want to use our online method so that everyone can access the data at the same time. So we use Netlify to post our website with the help of GitHub repository. While posting my database into the GitHub repository, everyone can access it, and they can view it as a proper website, and they can retrieve their data. These are the main components of our database, but there are various very small factors such as load state component, which help us to display how to get started, or highlight blur, which helps us to know which room we are going to navigate, or some other components like display content. It helps, it segregates the data from the database because the database contains a numerous number of inputs. It contains lamp, stove, sink, and the door, everything. But we have to know the user has clicked in the specific component, not any other, so that the layout component, after the image has been clicked, it will process a prop. You may ask, what's a prop? It's just a variable that is passed as a reference so that the display content component can use that variable and verify into the database it's the component they are clicking. The lamp means they will separate the lamp and they will display into the server. Yes. This is the main functionality side of the client side code. After that, Sarvesh will explain about the database side and how exactly the API link has been fetched to the client side code. Thank you.
So, greetings everyone. I'm Sarvesh from Comrade College of Engineering and Technology. I'm a final year student. I'm currently pursuing my BE CSE, Computer Science and Engineering, and I'm working as a backend developer in this project for develop for assembly. So, I've been designing the database schema for this project for the past 2 months, and the database schema we arrived. I think it's being displayed. Just a minute. So this is the database schema that we've been working on. And we initially had a single table, only the main data table, where all the columns and the fields were combined together. And for as the UI team explained, I'll run you through the UI team's process, similar process. And so here we have our location, component type, and we also had our link, reuse, reduce, recycle combined to the above table. And the issue that we faced initially was duplication of data. So how duplication of data became an issue, I'll be explaining it. And for a single location, consider that we have kitchen, and there's a sink component in our kitchen, and we have a reuse, reduce, recycle method for the sink component in our kitchen. And I want a similar type. I have a similar type of sink in my bathroom or somewhere else in the house, and I want to map the same reuse, reduce, recycle methods over there too. But we weren't able to do that with a single table because we needed to duplicate the data. And but actually we were accessing the same data. So in order to solve this problem, we split the table into two, where the main data and resource data were split into two. And our main data consists of location, component ID, and a reference ID to connect to the next table. And this reference ID, or also known as RID, and this ID in the resource data table, these both are connecting the table as foreign keys. And our component type, when you provide the component type as electricity or water, automatically this ID from the resource data will be fetched and placed inside the RID field. So I'll just run you through a simple sample example code. So these are the sample data from both our tables. Consider the location as a kitchen. So I'm walking through the kitchen. No. I'll be taking bathroom. So I'm taking bathroom. The bathroom, I'm going to use the component type as shower, and shower is a water-based component. So bathroom, water, shower, and it is linked to the RID reference ID 2. So on our resource data table, you can see RID 2 as component type shower, and we'll be providing, this is a sample data, so I will just use google.com. We'll be providing a link and reuse, reduce, recycle methods here. And these reuse, reduce, recycle methods can, it is an array data type. So you can insert how many, here you can see that we have used text array data type, so that you can insert multiple data according to your wish, and it will be displayed on your web page. As well as we also faced an issue where we'll be hosting our API endpoints, and we only needed to only needed the UI team to access our API links, and we didn't need a foreigner or anyone else to access our database directly. So in order to keep the channel of communication uh, confined to user side, to the client side and the server side, we came to the concept of JWT, JSON Web Token authentication. So here you can see we have depicted the process through a session diagram. And here is the browser. The browser represents the client side and the server represents the backend database. So server represents our Express server. So when you log in, when the user opens the web page, we automatically send a prefixed login data which contains the username and password, which resides in an encrypted file. The username and password is sent from the browser to the server and as a post request. And we have a secret key embedded in the server side. So using the secret key, the username and password will generate an ID, and the ID will be used to sign a JWT token, and this token will also be signed with the secret key, and this token will be sent to the browser or the client side. So when a user logins, opens the web page, they will have a token stored on their browser locally. And when the user browses through the web page, as Ragul and Gautam explained, when they went through those pages and access those components, you can see on the sidebar they've been showing reuse data, recycle data, and so on. So when the user tries to access those data, they again send the authentication request with the request JWT token in their header. And when they send those requests to the server will validate the token with the secret code that we've used in the server to sign the token. And if the token is valid, the data will be sent as a response to the client side. So I've been explaining the JSON Web Token authentication using Express, and I'll pass on the conversation to Praveen. Praveen will explain about API and other tools that we've been working on with the database.
Hello everyone, myself Praveen. I am from Murray and I am currently pursuing my BE CSE at Gautam Raj College of Engineering and Technology, and I am also a final year student. In our project, I worked as a backend developer, and in that I am working in the API process control and authentication management. As all we know, what is API? To make communication between the client side and server side. In that, we need to make the authentication process, because if we don't know initially if the client is an authorized user or an hacker. If they are authorized user means they will share the data. If they are hacker means they will theft or piracy our data, so that we may face some issues. To avoid that, we have an authentication process. For this, we have a middleware. Before the starting communication between the client side and server side, if the client sends request to the server means it did not hit the server side directly, because we have a middleware initially, which used to check whether the user is verified user or not. Like as Sarvesh said, we have used the JWT token. If the user wants to send request means they will send using the JWT token, and that is sent into this middleware, and the JWT token is validated if it is valid user or not. If they are valid user means it gives access to access the server side, so that the server sends the data back to the client side. If they are not a valid user means it says that 401 unauthorized access, like that. This is all about our authentication process. In our API, we use Express.js. Why we use Express.js means we have creating some API URLs to make communication between the client side and server side. and we are using RESTful APIs because we are doing create, delete, create, read, update, and delete operations in our database side, because the read operation is only done by the client side only, because clients only be shown with the data. They can't modify or edit any data given by us. In our admin side, we can do insert, update, and delete, because based on the time we may change our methods and remove some location or components based on our situation. And first after this, we first initially started our project in our single system. We created a client side and server side code. At the time, we didn't need any hosting platforms to host our database data. So we use local host to give request and get response. If we use localhost means we are using the same system, so that by using localhost we can get the data from the server easily. But if we access server from one system and client side from another system means we can't use local host, because localhost is only for within the system like local. So that we can use the concept of local tunnel. By using this local tunnel concept, we can change our local host URL into an HTTPS URL. By using this HTTP URL, the client can use from any other system by these URLs. So that which is helpful for our team, because we split it into two teams, like 3 works in the UI team and 3 works in the backend team. If we create this URL means we given the link to the UI team so that they can use our URL and fetch data in their client side. Before using the local tunnel, we used ngrok as our primary method. At that time, we faced some issues, like if we send the data in, we want to send the data in JSON format to access it easily from the client side, but it sends in the HTML format. That makes some issues in our side, so that we turn it to local tunnel side. And after that, we are trying to host our data in online website like Versal. Versal is as Aravindan said, that they use Netlify to host their data in the host their UI data in the Netlify, so that anyone can access at any time. As following the same concept, we use Versal. By hosting our database data into the Versal, anyone can access at any time, but they need to be an authorized user. That is our concept. And by developing our API URLs, we used some testing tools like Postman. This is our mainly used in testing side, because initially we don't have any UI sites, so that we need to test whether the API works or not by inserting, updating, deleting. For that, we use Postman. This is Postman, and if we give our local host URL means we need to select whether we are going to get or post or put or delete method. Based on that, we need to give the URL. It will check whether our API is working or not. These are all the work done by our team in this project. Thanks for giving this opportunity to us.
Good. I think that is the end of the demo and some technical thing. The students are next going to talk about what is it that they learned in this project. But in the meantime, Anya, if you have any questions, Anya or anybody on the how things work, we can talk about that, and we can move on to the students' experience.
No, I mean, just quickly, it was very, it was wonderful. Thank you for sharing all of that. It's a very interesting experience of coming up with an idea and seeing it put in practice. And since it's been such a long time, and I haven't met any of you before, that was wonderful to see how much work and thought you've put into it. So thank you so much. I'm really curious to hear, what you've learned and how was the experience overall.
All right, guys, get going. We can start. Yeah, go ahead, Sarvesh. Question. Go ahead.
Initially, we had as myself and Praveen both are final year students, and we are expecting placements soon. And we did not have. We joined this in Sayur by June month, I think so, and we did not have the skill to develop the website as you see it now, because we just knew Java and C, C++ or something like the basic three languages, three pillars of programming. And after we came into Sayur, the first thing I want to talk about Maika ma'am. And I think Maika ma'am is here in this meeting, and I want to thank Maika ma'am more than anyone, because even though we had our self-learning courses on Coursera and all the other things, Maika ma'am helped us the most, because learning backend, working with backend, and we just used used the concepts taught on our school. We can only create a simple table and access the table data in SQL command prompt. So we weren't able to do any real-time projects, or we did not know how a website accesses those data, and how hard a backend team works and puts their effort into to develop a website. And after working on this Zemblia project, I am sure that I'll get into good placements, and the skills that our mentors taught us were very amazing. Maika ma'am introduced us to many practical skills, like using GitHub to collaborate with our team, and that's what brought us this far into this project. And not only collaboration, Maika ma'am taught us many things that we could have worked with. And the JWT token authentication that I explained, I would like to thank Logesh sir for that authentication, for helping with the authentication. He spent an all-nighter with us to work on this thing and get it up running. And I think that's it for my experience, my side of the experience.
Good. Okay, Gautam.
So once again, welcome to all. So my name is Gautam. So I think Sarvesh bro cover overall mentors like Maika ma'am and Logesh sir. And we have extra mentors who guide us, like Anbar ma'am and Abhinay sir. So these four also have major part in this project, because whenever we stuck in some places, means we just go to ask Chitra ma'am to ask some helps to us. After a certain time, she asked anyone to come to teach us what is, and she clarified the doubt. So we are all thanks to all the mentors. And then in this project, I personally learned about Tailwind CSS, because before this project I used only a traditional CSS, but now I use Tailwind CSS, because this project is fully made upon Tailwind CSS and React JS only. So whenever we stuck in this projects, we have more mentors to help us. So that's it. Thanks.
Good. Yeah, Rahul.
Yes, hello everyone, this is Ragul. First of all, thanks for the Chitra ma'am and Ania ma'am to give this opportunity. As a youngsters, we have learned that more, and thanks for doing this. And I'm experienced many lot of things, just how to a realistic website or application can done this process and the flow of process and API links. And I worked on the UI side, but I'm not worked on only a UI side. I know very many things of database side when collaborating with my friends and the GitHub pages. It's like new experience with the thought of things. We have learned things, and I specifically learned React applications is how to learn React and how the React works and how the API links works. And the database teams that collaborated with us is very more. Like we are experienced that a lot of mistakes have it done, and like how your UI side and the database side have to link, and the API links were stuck on this, and many more mentors we have that we learned many from this. First, thanks for this opportunity, and you learn many more experience, and thanks.
Okay. Sree?
So once again, hi all. Yes. So once again, hi all. So in this project, I have learned about what is a React and Node.js and GitHub and etc. So initially, when I came to Sayur, I didn't know how I'm going to develop a project in React and I'm going to host a server like this. So when when Chitra ma'am gave this project, I was sincerely thought, how can I be going to do this? And I was totally so stuck. So I just want to do it, and they trusted me, so I want to do it. So I came into this project, and I want to thank all the mentors who supported us, like Maika ma'am, Lokesh sir, Avinash sir, and Anvarsi ma'am. But especially Maika ma'am taught us a lot of stuff to us, GitHub and Image Mapper and lot. And this is all what I learned from this project. And thank you.
Aravind?
Once again, as Sarvesh said, initially I also know only the programming languages like C, Java, and some basic database in our theory classes. In our college, we learned about how to create tables and how to access in the PSQL shell only. So that is our practical, that comes in our practical exams also. But we don't know how to use on our websites or in our projects. We don't know about anything. After coming to this Sayur program, we learned much in how to access database from backend side and how to provide security to access the database and something in, and learned something about front-end development like React. Basically, I hate HTML before joining this because that's like I don't know why I hate, but I hate HTML and CSS. But after joining this program, I started to learn basics from HTML, CSS, JavaScript. After learning, Chitra ma'am gives us some basic projects to do. By doing that project, I get more interest in that. How we use. Before that, I only hard code things. After some days, I just stopped hard coding and used some JSON files to store our data and how to access in different places like that. And I am a poor self learner also. Before this, I started to learn Flutter, but that not gone 10 days. I just learned 10 days. After that, I get bored. In our Sayur intern, I learned only in self learning and some projects by given by our mentors. And Micah ma'am given us more inputs like how to use Git and how to use databases and how to access our front end. And Anbarsi ma'am give us the basement of the JWT and authentication. Because before that, I don't know what is JWT, what is authentication in the backend side. Anbarsi ma'am clearly given the outline of these all. And after that, Lokesh sir given us how to use it. And the meet goes around 12 a.m. midnight. We worked on around 3 to 4 hours at that time. So thank you, sir, and thank you to all the mentors for giving us this opportunity and develop our skills. Thank you, ma'am.
Once again, welcome to everyone. From beginning, I'm a biomax student, not a computer major or anything. But while starting, I had interest in logic and aptitude type of question. So that while coming into the computer sector, I found that the coding is very interesting and logical, and the ways of solving the problem is not specified. We are the one who have to solve the puzzle, and connecting them is really fun and overall. And it's really a special day because it's our first I know we met with Micah ma'am and we have spent months with but it's the first time she's seeing us. And in the Sayur sector, they are not teaching only the language. They are teaching us the method how to learn your language by our own. So it's not only the languages, it's about teamwork and about the technologies. Before that, in India, we mostly use only WhatsApp or Instagram, but we are new to Discord and mostly the GitHub, because uh, before GitHub, we will use to share our messages in a WhatsApp in as a document. Then we will again after a week we'll be searching through our files and where is that file again. It's a big headache. So that after moving to a GitHub, it's really simpler and we can monitor our work. Again, I can commit back to what I was doing last week. So it's really helpful. Okay, and
Nice.
it's really yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, complete.
It's really nice to see everyone and connect with Sayur. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Yeah, maybe briefly about the students also. I would like to congratulations, students. You all did a very good job in this presentation. And these students are quite dedicated students. I'm sure if any of the mentors want to talk, you know how well where they were 3 months ago, where they are today, and very motivated students. So the job was easy for us to help them. And yeah, I can talk all day about the students, but I'm going to let others ask questions to see, make sure what any questions you have on the project, about the learning process, about the technology, anything, any questions, and please ask the students. Micah, if you are available, anybody want to talk about anything? It's fine.
Not per se a question, but I guess first off, really great job, all of you. And I mean, I told you guys are all very smart, and anybody to land you as an employee or as a contractor is extremely lucky because you guys are all capable. And the fact that you created this, learned JWT, got exposed to Passport JS, something you didn't have before, it's a testament to who you are and your capability to learn. I see you guys going very, very far, and I'm very excited to see you guys grow and get the opportunities you deserve because you put a lot of work on top of going to your schooling. So great job, really. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys develop more. So awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Micah. So Micah, definitely she gave that good baseline. When they first started, she gave a lot of encouragement. I've seen the way she interacted with the students. So she gave the students a lot of encouragement, and of course the technology too, starting off with a lot of process to how to use the GitHub correctly, and answering questions. She introduced them with the image mapper. So she went above and beyond of what was expected of her. So thank you, Micah. I hope the students are, doing a good job of, yes, thank you. Yeah, she gave the foundation. Anybody have any feedback, questions?
Hey, yeah, Chitra. This is Arun from TechJS. So first of all, great work, guys. So you have really done awesome work. Um, so both on the technical side and I see uh, great work both on the technical side and also on the soft skill side. So uh, typically we see people who are into development and all, they easily learn technical stuffs, but the soft skills like or the approach towards development, that's what I clearly seen. They are different. These guys are standing out from the crowd, I think. The one thing that I have noticed is about how they approach the development in a step-by-step gradual manner. let's say, evolving the requirements. I mean, evolving the uh, uh, requirements and development strategies. Let's say, starting with hard coding and moving to a server hosting, those steps. And really, I think from a college level students, I think this is the first time that I have seen people talking about code reusability. And that's really great work. And above all, the confidence in those guys in demonstrating their project. That's really awesome. Heads up to you guys. Keep going.
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, I definitely would like to acknowledge the confidence the students have, the way they talk, the English, pretty good. They started off and they worked with Mike, obviously 100% English, and they were fine, perfectly fine. And today you can see their confidence, the way they talk, and they deserve. I mean, they also know their subject when they talk. So yeah, thanks for noticing all that. Thank you, Aaron.
For this opportunity, Chitra.
Excellent. Just one small sentences. I am quite impressed by the UI and the presentation. Plus, the way they created the whole flow of the presentation and the synergy between the team, it was exceptional. Very nice. We hardly see this type of coordinated presentation among the team members. Even the experienced people struggle to do that. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, thanks, Frederick. Yeah, I know it's a Saturday evening. It's getting late for everybody. Anybody want to share anything? Any questions also on the technology track? Anything? Anybody? All right. If it is not much, and I don't want to keep everybody awake, late into the night. Thanks everyone for joining us. And thank you, Harry. I'll be sending the video recording also, which you can share amongst your coworkers. And if you have any questions, and all these students are available for internships and stuff. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me and go from there. So thank you. Thanks everyone. And thank you, Ania. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Guys. Bye everyone. Good night.
Thank you.